his backpack's main compartment, only for a library book to almost slip out, a memoir from an ex-soldier who moved to Alaska to race sled dogs. That certainly wasn't threatening, and while maintaining eye contact with the bank teller, his hand pushed the book down to the bottom as discreetly as possible. He slid the backpack several inches toward her, and she complied, stuffing it with cash before taking it to the adjacent register. Across the room, the two bystanders, a woman who had been working at a nearby desk and a customer in a polo shirt, continued watching, silent with their hands up. The second hand of the bank's large wall clock inched forward. Jamie scanned the room, scowling to appear extra threatening, but really just a cover as he gauged the level of trust in the room. Everyone had a role to play. He was the villain, the aggressor, and they were the passive victims. If everyone stayed in those roles, his escape would be swift. Jamie took a second, making sure he'd accounted for every step in his list. Couldn't be too careful these days, not with the police on his tail. Or the throwing star, San Delgado's resident vigilante, for that matter. He'd seen enough videos of her extraordinary beatdowns of common street muggers, and that didn't fit into his plans. Not one bit. The money flowed in, clean and quick. In fact, it might have been the smoothest of his 9 bank robberies so far. Though the bank teller was out of sight, he heard the distinct thump of bundled cash being tossed into the backpack. Seconds on the wall clock ticked by, a click, click, click that made each moment seem like hours. Her footsteps returned to a normal pace as she approached her window. "Here," the teller said. "Please, just go." Jamie reached over, then pulled his arm back with a flourish before grabbing it. "You didn't trip the alarm, did you?" No, of course not." "Are you sure?" Though his abilities didn't come with a lie detector, the freshest memories were the easiest to read. He dove in and confirmed she told the truth. "Yes," she said, nodding faster and faster. "Please take it. I promise I didn't do anything." Jamie wrapped his fingers around the backpack's strap, giving a little twirl as he flipped it onto his shoulder. The weight of the bag awkwardly slammed into his side, taking his wind for a second. "All right." He turned, putting his back to the 3 people watching him. "You've cooperated for now. Consider yourself lucky." He hesitated, counting to 7 for an appropriate dramatic pause. 1. They wouldn't remember this, since he was about to wipe the encounter from each of their minds, but the security cameras would capture it, local news would broadcast it, and social media would discuss it. 2. The hashtag #MindRobber would boost his legend even further. Just the thought, the mere mention of him would generate fear in anyone he encountered. 3. Okay, it stroked his ego a little bit, too. When you wake up in a dingy apartment without any of your memories, you really don't have much else. 4. His only other accomplishment at this point was returning library books on time and being a good cat owner. 5. Remember your lines, and a good American accent. Practice makes perfect, he told himself. "The mind robber has spared you. This time." 6. Jamie adjusted his posture to make his big declaration before brain-stunning the 2 bystanders and the teller, and removing the memories of this bank visit with surgical precision. Done. Finished clean in a mere 10 minutes. He took in a breath to begin when the silence broke. It wasn't a word of defiance, or desperation, or despair. No, this sound was a guttural like something choked. Jamie turned, then his eyes widened in horror. This was unexpected, uncontrolled. The preparation, the scouting, the review of his plans, the speech rehearsal, and none of it ever accounted for this. The other employee, the woman standing by the desk, clutched her chest, eyes shut and brow creased in pain. She dropped